Hey guys, it's Chelsa Messenger with Picks and Parlays. We're talking of baseball. That's right, spring training is already underway, and real baseball games are right around the corner. And we are breaking down the AL East, usually one of the more enticing leagues or conferences or divisions to talk about. We've got a promo code. The code is March for 20% off the entire site at picksandparlays.net. We've got Sean Higgs joining us to kind of help go through some of these teams, some of the odds. And Sean, we'll start with the odds to win the AL East. We've got the Orioles plus 7,500, the Red Sox plus 2,200, the Yankees are minus 190, Rays plus 475, and then the Blue Jays at plus 350. So opening reactions to that. First of all, do you think the Yankees should be minus 190?
I'm just writing down your 475 because here I might have an older ticket here from DraftKings. It was 375, but I want to mark that. That's a good number. Listen, they're the Yankees. You got a huge payroll. You're going to be considered the favorites because you got a lineup that has 9 DHs in it or something. A bunch of guys who could hit home runs all over the place. I don't know how they're winning with this lineup. We'll talk about their win total. Super Bowl cat at 95.5. How this pitching staff, Chelsea, you got Cole and then, Kluber, Talon, James Talon, however you pronounce his last name. They're looking at Sevy to come back. These guys threw like 4 innings the last 2 years. Jordan Montgomery, Cruz, what? Okay, Kluber pitched 2 innings. That's what I don't know why they're that favorite. They're favored because they're the Yankees and they dress in pinstripes and it's an impressive uniform. And they got, they are who they are and they got some good hitters. The pitching staff worries me. I'm a Yankee fan. I still look at this team. I'm like, how? No, I'll take the Rays. You get 475. Wonderful. I was looking at plus 350. I would have been happy with. And I know the Rays lost some pitching. This team, we'll move on off the Yankees at that price to the Rays. This is a team that doesn't worry about trading away Cy Young Award winners. They don't care. We'll trade our guys. Glasnow is pretty good. Yarbrough is a nice, it's a nice 1-2 punch. And then they bring in Waka. Okay, Rich Hill, Chris Archer, older guys. Maybe you're worried about them pitching deep. But hello, everyone. Tampa Bay. This is a team that throws a starter out for, 1 1/3 innings and brings in a bullpen for the next 5. So I think those guys are actually going to thrive in this kind of environment where they only had to pitch 3 or 4 innings. Rich Hill's great when he has to go through the lineup once or twice. So yeah, I think the Rays are a great value there. They finally get some offense to help out with their pitching. Yankees would not be my top choice here. And then, of course, listen, people are going to be high on Toronto, right? Big money spenders. They get a Springer in there. They get the second baseman, shortstop, Marcus Semien from the A's, Bo Bichette, Biggio. They got some young names, some other guy, Guerrero, whose father's played in baseball, is pretty good. So that'll be a little upstart team. The pitching staff, all right, maybe a couple question marks as you look at it. You're like, oh, boy, you got Ryu, and then it's kind of like, what's going to happen here? Is Nate Person going to step up from his second season? I like Robbie Ray. In Arizona. Put it together, Robbie, please. One day the guy could look like Cy Young. The next day he looks like, I don't know, Cy. I can't even think of Cy.
He'll have like 6 walks and like 12 strikeouts and give up 5 runs. Robbie Ray is all over the stat sheet because he's just so wild. People can't hit him because no one knows where it's going because he'll have a ton of strikeouts, like I said, but he'll have a ton of walks and sometimes he'll give up a bunch of home runs. So that's the problem.
73 pitches in 2 innings.
Blue Jays. The pitching staff of the Blue Jays.
And then you got Steven Matz again. He's another health kind of guy. What are you getting out of it? Tanner Roark. Pitching staff, the bats, should they be able to score with this lineup? Yeah, but I think we'll take Tampa as the better pitching. I think Tampa's probably got the best staff going in baseball. Or not baseball, I should say. AL East. Let me clarify that.
Yeah, by far.
Hate comments there. Because the Yanks, until you got to see how this plays out with our 2 and 3 with Kluber and Talon coming over, injury guys. What are you getting out of Cruz, who was suspended? Sevy when he comes back. So Red Sox.
And also their lineup. The Yankees lineup. Giancarlo Stanton's going to be hurt. Aaron Judge is going to be hurt. That's just every year.
Yes. They're going to play their 111 games. But they have guys they can plug in there. They have a bunch of first baseman, outfielder, DH types, that they could just bring all over the place. They have depth to make up for their outfielder loss and first baseman loss, and they got guys. And the minors are still good. I'm not worried about the lineup. That they're going to generate runs. You'll never get a full 150 from Judge and Stanton. I mean, you'd love to see that though here. I mean, that'd be some kind of offense, but listen, they're getting older. They're not getting any younger. So they're definitely, you're not going to see that, and then you got I just mentioned the Red Sox. They got some decent bats, but again, that pitching staff's, where are they going? That's a waste of money if you're going to look on the future. I mean, the Orioles are a strict rebuild. I mean, I guess you got a feel-good story in Mancini out there, right? Coming back. But other than that, Trey Mancini at first base, what are you looking forward to? Think Matt Harvey? I mean, Felix Hernandez? Is this where we're going with this team? They're the 4 and 5 starters, these guys. 6 years ago, you hear Felix Hernandez and Matt Harvey, you're thinking, wow, I got a Cy Young 1-2 coming at you. Not so much now. Listen, this is like a 2.5 team division, right? You got the Yanks, the Rays, and the Jays a little bit. And it's not much value down there if you want to take long shots.
Yeah, the fact that the Rays are the defending AL East champs, going 40-20 last season, they won the division by 7 games, and they did lose Blake Snell and Charlie Morton. But this is a team that prides themselves on developing their own talent, so they probably have guys in their organization that can fill those roles. And plus, now they have a ton of pitchers that have pitched in the World Series. That's invaluable experience. Plus, adding some guys like Colin McHugh from the Astros. He has World Series experience. And Chris Archer, I know he hasn't been, the best as of late, but he's still got something in the tank, I would imagine, at least from a depth standpoint. So, I just think the Rays are too enticing at that type of value to not take them. And then let's look at some win totals. Any win totals you particularly like in this division?
Definitely under the Yankees. I mean, they're up in the 95, 96 range. I can't. Kluber's, 2015 Corey Kluber, that'd be one thing. But I don't see that. I don't think this team has health issues, not just with their 2-3. There's 2 and number 3 starters, but as you mentioned, the lineup could easily be decimated. Gary Sanchez is a 198 hitter right now. So, I mean, that's like having a third Stanton or Judge not doing much because he's going to be out a lot. So definitely under the Yankees right off the bat. I do actually kind of like, the Rays are at 88, 89 around that area. I kind of like them over. That'll be a close one, but I think this team probably gets about 94, 95 wins. I don't want to hate on Baltimore, but 66 wins just seems like a big stretch here. I know you might have a lot of beating up on each other with some of these teams, feeding on each other, but I think the Orioles are just going to be that bad where 66.5, that looks tough to get to. I'm going to have to say under that total there.
Yeah, and especially I think the Orioles surprised some people last year in pulling off some wins, but you're looking at a shortened season last season, and the longer the season is, the more depth plays a factor. And the Orioles already were using a ton of guys from AAA and guys that were just kind of, up and down. So I think this long season is going to hurt them even more.
Yeah, I'm looking at their lineup. I've heard of 2 guys in their lineup. I don't even know anybody on this team with the projected lineups. I mean, it's sometimes you look at a team, you're like, oh, they picked this guy up in the preseason, picked him up in the offseason. I said, you look at this team, and you're like, wow, this team's got some problems, big problems.
Right.
But it's a rebuild. Where are they going? They know where they are. Why try to plug something in and spend $30 million on somebody? It's not going to help you. So we get the rebuild going. You still got a nice ballpark down there. Fans will probably come, but yeah, Orioles, as you said, in a short season. Listen, I had a Miami ticket to win the NL East last year because I'm like, you know what? In a short season, anything's possible. And you see guys get hurt. We saw Strasburg go down. Team struggles out of the game. You're like, a COVID issue. In a long season, there's gonna be the game tape, the film on a guy. You might have 1 or 2 good starts. That's fine when you only have 8 starts in a year. You could probably get the edge on a team. Not when they're gonna roll you out for 32 games. Not going to happen. That's the course levels itself out. The cream rises to the top. The bad goes to the bottom. And that's what you're going to see here.
Yeah, everybody last year was like, it's a shortened season. it's anybody's game. No, the Dodgers won the World Series. So baseball
but you saw some nice stories though. But you saw, as much as the Dodgers won, you saw like the team like Miami, you saw teams competitive because it was so condensed where you only had to get to a certain part and everybody was in it. It was like, wow, we got a shot here. Detroit won a couple games. You're like, wow, is Detroit for real? Of course they weren't for real, but
they're not.
Those teams beat their win. They beat their win total though because people think, they're going to be terrible. Yeah, we're 162 games. You're going to be crap because your pitchers used to throwing 133 innings, and now you're going to try to push them up to 160, 170. That's where the long season comes into play, and that's what. The better teams, your Tampa Bays, your Yankees, even your Toronto's, even your Red Sox will get a little better as they go on because they have that kind of, spending and talent to go out and get other players. So yeah, last
All
year
right.
definitely one that was out of the ordinary, but this year you'll see more back to the means with teams not going on crazy runs like that.
We're going to wrap it up. We could talk about baseball all day, as you can probably tell. That's going to do it for our AL East talk on Picks and Parlays. Great stuff, as always, from Sean Higgs. Sean, thanks for joining us.